What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Rangers Central. And today we got a little bit of a weird one here, as we're going to be talking about the idea of potentially Viktor Arvidsson to the Rangers, which might not be a popular one, but we'll dive into things and see, because that's at the end of the day why we're doing these free agent videos for multiple guys. Even if I don't exactly or particularly like the fit of certain guys, we're doing it either way just to explore and see what could potentially be out there. So before we jump into it, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're a Ranger fan, and turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live. But in terms of Viktor Arvidsson, let's get into the numbers. Clearly was hurt this year. Only played 18 games, had 15 points in those games, 6 goals, 9 assists. Nice. In 5 playoff games this year, had 3 points. You look at last year's playoff run, 7 points in 6 games, 1 goal, 6 assists. Not particularly a guy that, to be honest with you, has really thrived in terms of certain things with the postseason. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything about Viktor Arvidsson. I quite frankly do not know really how he plays in terms of if he plays like physical. I don't know if he really plays, if he's like a passenger type, if he's more of a play driver type. Maybe we'll find out a little bit of that info as I get through this video here a bit. But in terms of that, what you could say is that he's a consistent guy that's going to give you 50 to 60 points. A lot of that is either injuries or shortened season, which is something that I do worry about with Viktor Arvidsson, is the fact that he clearly is hurt a good amount of the time. So that's one thing that is alarming. But you look at some of the 5v5 stuff, which I don't know why I didn't do this with previous, guys that we looked into. But in terms of the 5v5 numbers, he's a guy that doesn't put up like the worst production at 5v5, especially considering how poor this team is. It was many moons ago to have this type of production from him, 40 points. But still, giving you like 30 points at even strength is no slouch, especially because, again, this Rangers team, not a good 5v5 team at all. So you would absolutely take it. You look at the all 3 zones model. Very good stuff, actually, in terms of what it is. So maybe you could argue that he's a play driver and that it's line mates dragging him down. I really don't know what it is. But you also could take into consideration maybe some of it is Todd McClellan, which, not a good coach. I know he got fired, but in terms of, the way, how passive that LA Kings team played, maybe it's a bit of that. I don't know. But you look at some of the stuff, guy is pretty good when it comes to a lot of different things. Not bad on the forecheck, not bad when it comes to shooting the puck. The guy does shoot the puck a good amount, actually. Creates a good amount off the rush, which is also very promising. Creates a good amount off the cycle. Good on one-timers, which would help power play 2 out. Good with zone entries, would help this team out a lot. So there are some things to like about Viktor Arvidsson. Like, this is not an entirely hate thing, but then you look at things like this where it's like the 5v5 stuff, not so promising, but the power play stuff looks very good, which I do want to see. He is a guy that did, oh my, wow, he was not good in his own end when he was putting up those 60-point seasons, but man, I mean, if he's putting up the points, I guess you can't really get mad. But he's a guy that has played for Peter Laviolette before in Nashville, so there's familiarity there if you want to, talk about things like that. Now I want to see like this stuff here, which, oh wow, he was just not good defensively, which not necessarily popular probably from this fan base, which to me, I don't mind, because again, he would be playing with Meek and Kreider, who kind of play 200 feet games to begin with. And then in terms of the projected cap for him, 1 year, $3 million, really not bad. We talked about it with Kane. If you didn't check that video out, go do that. I don't hate the idea of going with a guy that is a little bit of low risk, high reward, which again, I do worry because of injuries, which, if that's the case, maybe this team would actually use the LTIR to their advantage for all we know. Who knows? And if not, you bury him in the AHL. You open up a bit of cap that way, which again, not necessarily ideal. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it is, but I don't think it's bad in terms of an option to consider. But again, I do understand from the other side, because there's going to be arguments in the comments, I'm sure, that say, well, I don't know if I want him because he's injured. I don't know if I want him because of the fact that he looks like a guy that might be a little bit of a power play merchant. To that I say, or just the 200-foot game thing. To that I say, fair argument. I can't disagree with any of those points. But I do think the idea of Viktor Arvidsson isn't terrible in terms of if the Rangers do want to go down that rabbit hole. Like, I'm not totally against it, but there's definitely better out there that we've talked about thus far and that we're going to talk about. There's definitely better, because it is very interesting in terms of some of the stuff where, sorry, just like I'm getting distracted because I really am like intrigued of like when he started to like actually play a little more. It had to be when he joined LA that he became a little more defensively responsible, which no, I mean towards the end of Nashville when that might have been John Hines as the coach at that point. And definitely in LA he started to become more of a responsible player, which maybe honestly hurt him because he started putting up less points, which, you know, we kind of saw that with Mika. Even guys started becoming a 200-foot player, hurt him offensively. Not really much to look at this year because he didn't play a lot, but like I again, at the end of the day, this team's power play did go cold in the playoffs too. So maybe you could argue that they do need that sort of help. I don't hate the idea too, even if they did want to sign him for the third line, in case Othman isn't ready, or even then, put Othman on his natural wing, Edstrom down the Hartford, just to open up cap. You put Othman on the third line, Hedel, Arvidsson, put VC down with Cooley and Goudreau. Not a bad little bottom six here entirely. Still maybe want a bit of a change. Maybe you open up cap by trading someone, get a top line right winger, get a left shot D. Not really a bad thing to work with there if Arvidsson's down in the bottom six, which again, maybe you don't like that though because of the fact that he doesn't play the best in his own end, but I'm just spitballing ideas because even then, you know, then you have flexibility if you want to move guys around, maybe put Arvidsson in the top six, move whoever else you might acquire down. I don't know. You get a couple different options there, or maybe even, crazy thought, maybe you want to split up Mika and Kreider for once, and then maybe you go something like this, and whoever you acquire's there, and Arvidsson's a Banjet, whoever it is. I don't know, just spitballing ideas. I do think that the fit is there a bit, but I also, of course, am skeptical because of the things that we talked about during this video, like injury stuff, like power play merchant stuff, not playing a 200-foot game. But I'm curious what your thoughts were. This was my brother's suggestion, honestly, this video too, which honestly, I think it's fair because he is a little bit of an intriguing name, and I've seen people float the idea around on Twitter. It did make me interested to see things with Viktor Arvidsson, how he kind of is. So, yeah, it was a fun little video. That's all this is at the end of the day, is just hypothetical stuff. But don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Viktor Arvidsson as a fit. Do you guys want him? Do you guys not want him? Are you somewhere in between like me where it's like you wouldn't hate it, but you also wouldn't be like, you know, doing high fives, cartwheels, backflips for the guy because, you know, after doing a little bit of high fives for Blake Wheeler, I'm a little bit hesitant about that sort of deal. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.